everyone, I'm Spirited, and this is the Beginner's Guide. I know nothing about this game. All I know that it is by the creator of the Stanley Parable, which we have played on stream. So I'm really excited to see what's happening. Oh. Yes, the audio is on. I made sure. Heck yeah. Yeah, I'm playing on a PC. Let's do it.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Wreden. I wrote the Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike.
Oh, wow.
You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D
This is really
environment.
cool.
But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level.
Oh.
And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
Oh, this is so cool.
So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again.
Oh, wow.
And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Okay.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
Okay.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
What do we do? Where are we going? Am I shooting things? Am I not? Oh, gosh. Okay. Straightforward.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life forms inbound.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
Oh.
For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
Oh,
But
no.
ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized.
Oh, okay.
Begin ship evacuation.
Oh, wow.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's really cute. Gosh, that's really...
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Yay!
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
What?
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Okay, that's a weird... To have this entire game and have that. That's very interesting. I'm curious, I guess.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Oh, it restarts every time? Ah! I am the human. I am the initial.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Let's do it. The past was behind her.
Yep, in this game
No!
you can only walk backwards.
Okay. Let's get to it. Interesting. Oh gosh. But the future
So it's a
cannot be
short and
seen.
relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Okay, I'm gonna go. But why does the future keep changing? Oh my gosh, I'm getting chills. Stop. I didn't expect this. There's stuff over there. When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. But if the future's always behind her, how will she find the strength to confront it? Oh my gosh.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more
Wow.
than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Oh gosh. That was my favorite one. Keep it on record. You are now entering
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay, December 2008.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, that was it. It was dead to him.
Oh.
And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Yes. Oh, I'm getting slower.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay. What's the secret? It's something here that he made just for himself. Oh. Those are ideas.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Wow.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
What the hecky? Are we continuing with the Cry Tuesday or something? Oh my gosh. January 2009. Ready, set, fish. Okay, I'm ready. That is number 1. Move the backwards one to 2, and move idea hidden room number 1. Thank you. Doesn't look like you could fish anywhere.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Okay. Is there everything that I need to have here? Solvable? Is there another hidden? Can I reach it from the outside? Yay! Oh. I thought if I closed it, it would automatically open from back here.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
Okay. Okay.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. All right, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Oh. There's so much.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
January 2009.
Aha. So this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
The Great and Lovely Descent. That's a nice house.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
Let's go through.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Oh, whoa. I hope I don't die. You know what, actually? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Oh, why can't I go in there? No. This one looks really good. Like a cattle? Oh no. I feel like a cow. I'm trapped. Oh gosh.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you
Oh my
go.
goodness.
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Oh wow.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
I like it. right. Also, I like the music attached to it. Makes it so like ethereally and big and spacious. Because there is a lot of games that do that too, is where it's like, as a player, you'd think it's insane to have a piece of the game where you have to physically stay there for an hour or for some time before it proceeds you to the next one. A lot, especially nowadays, does not happen quite often, if not any games do that anymore, because of the patience level of our community and the people that play now. They will just rather just not play the game, complain about the game not being playable, and then try to get a refund, etc., etc.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
This was by far the longest game. You there, did you come up from above?
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Okay, let's try again. You there, did you come up from above? What was up there? Yes, there was a world stamped with whiteness. Yes, there was an enormous prison I spent hours in. Yes, there were these floating colored blocks. 2. That's the world above. You've been there. Now, this is important. Do you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before coming here. Again, perfect. Now please, tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. Oh. So, do I want to tell them? Because maybe the reason that type of door is like that is because it's keeping something in. So I could either say, I don't remember how I solved it. I'm just trying to remember, but I can't. I didn't solve it. Someone else let me in. Or trust me, you don't want to go over there. Well, I don't want to lie. That's number 1, right? You don't want to go over there. That's the thing though, I wouldn't say that, right? I don't remember how I solved it. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I'd rather say that. You must think harder, please. Try to remember. It's so important that we get out here. We must escape this prison. Can you think harder? There must be something more. Please, tell us how to reach the end. Go to them. Oh no, it's them again. Wait. Did all 3 of them? No! Okay. They disappeared. Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes, do you want to know how to solve it? Or no, I've been right here this entire time. Do we believe this is the same people? Yes, do you want to know how to solve it? No, we actually find the black space between doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it? Why would I care about the space between the doors? Actually, now that you mention it, I remember feeling strange as I passed through it. I don't recall a space between the doors. I do remember it, and I do think it was weird. I agree. Don't think too hard about it. You'll see it again soon. So, outer people have the cross hands. This one's the speaker. Let's go from there.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Are we out of school?
It's a lamppost.
Oh.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
I theorize it's like a thing to like look for always in life. For example, like if this piece of light, this game is connected to the internet. April 2009. As you walk around, you could leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. Nice room. Not. That is rude as heck.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this,
How did you
but
beat this
this
game?
game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. And I cooled off eventually.
So, I'm theorizing these are just his inner thoughts about his game-making process and his development of his games, right? Like, the ability to beat a game, to have it playable, to not even think it's worth to make, and so on and so forth. Oh, wow. Whoa, holy shit. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Reasonable.
Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is gonna happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
This place makes me
But it's
sad.
ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work.
Oh, I didn't even know this game has
I think this is why I
achievements.
always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Very true. Oh. This game is is no nice. I would like it when I could. Do you feel like a hero yet? Oh, wow. I just saw a flying penguin. Let me tell you, it was the most majestic thing I've ever seen. I just feel like living there. What? I don't feel like living because nothing will ever be as majestic as that. I never want to see again if nothing will ever be that beautiful again. I'm crying now. I'm planning on ripping my eyes out. I must just go do that. Oh my goodness. Stay away from me. I don't think anyone has played this one before. What I'm thinking so far, I'm in love with it. I love psychoanalyzing. I love this premise of going through games and taking deeper meanings of this different games that are being made by Coda. Again, I'm not gonna go too in depth with like, do I believe Coda is real or not? I don't think I want to go that route because I don't think it's important. But I do like the progressiveness of the games that are being made, and I really, really enjoy the way this game is formatted, and I like how unique it is. I'm really, really, really enjoying it. As a person that is very, let's just say, creative in content creation, and hopefully, fingers crossed, in the future, I've been thinking about game development in general, or, you know, making stories in general, is very, very cool to see on how other people has progressed and their different ideas in game development and how they reflect the individual maker. I think that was very, very cool to watch and hear and basically live during this game and see that, which I think is very, very cool. It's not very funny. I'm looking for it. And another thing that I do. Oh no, I could just fall? About this one particularly is that these are all Coda specifically. Like, I'm only going to use the information that is given to me, right? So if the information that this narrator is giving to us is correct, and I'm going to assume is correct, these are all him. So this is all either A, what he believes other people would write here, or B, is all of his thoughts while he's making this game, while he's making games in general, and so forth and so forth. A free t-shirt? Open sesame. Door how open? Someday I'll meet the person who made this. I help people because of the internal good feeling I get. You know, honestly, I will look at all of them because I'm so interested. And I'm really curious, actually, on why he doesn't make games anymore. Oh, go down here, look at all of them. Okay, you know what? Let's do it. Oh no, it wouldn't let me jump! Okay, I'm just gonna collect them all. I will stop reading. You gotta start somewhere, you know? That's I think what the point is with this game. In order to be successful or not be successful, but even to relay your thoughts, your creations, your individualism, your unique creations, you have to start somewhere, no? And that's what it shows you. You know, the first game might not be the best, it might not be fully thought out, but it is the progression that matters, that you keep going if you want to continue. right? Very, very, very cool. I love when games in general are very telling in their creation, and their the people that made it passionate about this specific genre, a topic, story. You know, whether it's oh my gosh, are you guys still see me? My lights just flickered. That was scary. I really hope this isn't stop streaming. Okay, we're still here. No, I'm just saying. Like, I'm not reading them.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
As a person, for example, for me, as a person that has ideas, has at the wazoo, right? There's notes of ideas, there's files of ideas that I want to work on. Yeah, not every idea gets worked on to the fullest potential or how I want it to be in the end. Could mean multiple different things, I might not be in the right headspace, or other things like that. We're all writing the messages. Are you there? Please say something. It can be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. We're having so much difficulty talking. Speak, 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 speak. And so on. May to June 2009.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Got it. Hey. Okay. I'm feeling it. Let's do it. Jump, okay. I can jump, but not to another level. Just want to make sure. This is the area.
See, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Version 2? Wait, what furniture ought to go in the center of the room? Oh, it's like a puzzle. Not puzzle, but you're interactive. How about a giant hole in the ground? Boop! Okay, now what about along the wall? Okay, so whatever I write, he won't do. Interesting. A washing machine. I think we should light up this room a bit. Yeah. Anything I put, it'll just continue. Continue. As if it's not related in the slightest. A table? You need a table. Yep. Pretty sure none of my choices are making any difference.
There's a bit more to this one, but still it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Oh, wow. Let's do it. Let's go.
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello. Please walk forward. Oh, spatial. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Good. Go over to the photo frame and click to turn it slightly. Now, turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Will do. Now, go to the left side sofa. Move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. And I just leave.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Ooh, interesting. A lamppost. Hello? Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? So you were trapped in this prison too?
It's a conversation.
I was in the
And so
future maze.
this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But
That's
the
where I am
irony
right
is
now.
that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
I'm so glad to know that I get out eventually. What's it like to escape? It's strange, but in a way, kind of miss being in prison. Why? Was there anything about it that felt good about? Being here sucks. Then I'd say... true. Maybe I only like things once I don't have them anymore. Very true. I do that too, I guess. But is that just how I'm going to be forever? I really like to change that. No, I think you'll find a way to change. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? Ooh, no, I think I'm the first person to call back. Then can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? To get out, just talk with me for a bit. What? That will free me? How does that work? It'll make sense. Okay, I can talk. Just talk for a bit. Will you be here? I will, as long as you need it.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
August 2009. Ooh.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Oh wow, it has more outside. Is this Coda?
To me, this environment is meant to
Kona?
represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
This looks so good. Oh, yuck. Well, my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Though I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself, and right miserable that would have been. Everyone is lonesome. Hands make lousy homes. Oh, so it's a different...
You'll notice that the quality of the art
Yeah.
is a step up from previous
I know you
games,
can't see it, sorry
including
guys.
this new and improved
Oh,
chat
actually?
system, which he started
Here. Nah, I can't, sorry.
using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
In lousy homes make home loners. Ha! Something tells me you're going to be fun to do this job with.
Well, this place isn't going to clean itself. As far as I know, I'll finish up here. In the meantime, could you please clear the table? It is very good. Clear the table. Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now, would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? Will do. This is the bathroom. Where is the bedroom? Ooh, that's a nice place. While you're in there, why don't you straighten out the rug a bit? All the details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? How'd you end up doing this job? It's been a long time since I've seen this house this messy. Do you enjoy it? Well, I don't enjoy it as much as I need to. While I'm working, I feel kind of calm. That rests in this pit of my ribcage. My soul just can't be soothed by any other way, it seems. Which I guess is about all that matters. Oh, and a tiny couch. Would you straighten the pillows on the sofa out there? Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop that up as well while you're over there? I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Yep, make it especially cheesy. No, stupid, sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Last I checked, the tub needs a clean in. How about you scrub it down as best as you can? No need to be perfect, we're all just human. I was seeing if there's other facets of him besides clean. And there isn't. Are there still books scattered on the floor of the bedroom? If so, would you put them back on the shelf? Perfect. Now then, how about you come and clear these dishes off the table?
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Do these chores ever end? Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you have absolutely got to own it. Otherwise, it owns you. So why don't we...
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
President Yi wants to swing out the rug in the bedroom. Believe it or not, trust me on this one. I really enjoyed this one. It's not my favorite, again. Oh, there's stuff outside. There's more. There's more. Take me out there. The tub has gotten rather dirty. Would you mind tidying it up? I'm just doing the same things over and over again now. Earlier when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it, and it takes care of you. Don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. There's a bit of truth in it, no? Anyway, so housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books. Would you please clean up the books? Thanks. Oh goodness, those pills over the couch are a real mess.
I'm glad he found some peace.
And it's just cleaning the same things over and over again now. Isn't that kind of like life? Question. Do you enjoy this?
Of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well.
Oh!
Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long.
Wow.
You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Lamppost.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
September 2009.
This one gets a bit goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationship more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your life? Who do you know who is well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful. I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how we do it, but how do we do it effortlessly? This is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
Being perfect is effortless. Oh, gosh. can either say, this is the key.
And you
How do
play
I...
as the teacher.
Oh.
And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort? Well, let me tell you right now. If it is effortless, then it's not the right answer. I don't know these references. So interesting. Oh, it's giving me the ones I should do. That's interesting. Do what is easiest. Do what's simplest. Feel what is true. Everyone, run! Run! There's someone here!
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
January 2010.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
This reminds me of Stanley Parable. It really does, though. Welcome to my show. Oh, gosh. Alright, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you'll be playing as me. We are at the gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against this wall. Don't mind if I do. Good, stay right there. The woman across the room, in this chair, is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph, oh my gosh, animals professionally. This is the one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello. Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. Is either, I'm super scared right now, or I like you, or here are all my hopes and dreams. Don't want to bombard her, so I'm not going to do that one. Why would I say I like you? Because it doesn't matter. That's not real. I'm super scared right now is the truth. I'm going to say that. I'm super scared right now. No, no, no. That's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason. That was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's just that you need a better feeling of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now, talk to her again. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. You're messing it up again! You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quick. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. They trapped me. Hey. Hey! Get me out of here! Okay. I'm gonna go on my merry way then. Okay, yes! This is working.
The game
This is what
ends
it
with
was
this
like.
eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
June 2010. Oh, Mobius trip. Mobius. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Okay, my eyes are closed, okay? No, just kidding. I have my eyes open. What? Okay. Someone get help! There's a giant door. My vision went black. I can't see anything. What's going on? Oh. No. Oh, gosh. Okay, my eyes are closed now. Okay, I close them.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
I'm gonna keep them closed. Hello, sir. Someone in front of me now? And we're gonna get killed? No more blindness. I'm walking. I'm looking. I'm watching. The truth. The only way to stop it is to speak something that's honest. I can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. Ooh, I got chills. Oh my gosh.
Like I said, I was getting concerned.
That is very concerning.
First off, he's never been
Very
this
relatable.
explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
December 2010. Hello? Hello? Oops. Is anyone there? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I'm completely out of ideas. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give to my work. When I try to create, I feel empty. Oh no. What's happened? Did something change? There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. Or I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start again. Oh no. And then everything from behind is gone and moved to the forward. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. Take me to it, please. I could do that.
If the last game
There's a
featured
problem.
Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore.
Toy gate.
Why? What is it for?
Perfect. Come along, I'll show it to you.
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Here's the puzzle. What do you think? Hey, I recognize this. Oh, wonderful. Can you tell me how to do it? First, you have to close the door. First, you have to open the door, or first, you have to press the switch on the inside. Well, first, you have to open the door. Okay, now what? Oh, I clicked something wrong. Okay, now you press the switch on the inside. Ha! That was so simple.
You can't
believe I never
talk
solved it
yourself
before.
out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
So things I said. There's no machine here. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous, and that you love it 100% of the time. Oh gosh. Okay, making games is simple. That feels wonderful. But why does it feel so awful when I say that? Don't worry about it. Just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. When I make games, I feel completely organized. Energized. Yep, that's wonderful. Keep
Seeing
going.
this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me.
Yeah.
I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
This is so intense, actually. Perfect. This feels fantastic.
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
None of this is helping. Patience. You have to trust me. I promise this will work. Please continue. It always pays off eventually. Yes. More. keep going?
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything.
Yeah, I don't want to be here anymore.
I never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
Incredible. That's it. I'm free. I'm free. I need to see them in the prison.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
May 2011. Ma'am, glad to see you arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so I might have a bit of intention on this one. Also, one more thing you should know about the machine. It's called itself Coda. Hey, do you capture the machine? Oh, it'll be published. Done. What are we doing with the machine?
And of course, it's the machine.
You stopped feeding us. Those people out there, can you imagine what pain you put them through? I've been so alone. Apologize for leading me. No, nothing? Alright then, I'll apologize to the people on your behalf. My friends! It falls on me to deliver bad news. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. Let us pay it retribution. Ugh. I don't like that. The options we have are: follow me, we will destroy the machine. Or follow me, we will destroy everything that the machine has created. Is there a third option? Fine. I will say, follow me, we'll destroy the machine. Come on, everyone. Oh, God. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm not shooting.
Remember, you can click to fire the gun.
Oh, I sure do know. No. let's... Oh, I'm deleting the work. Either A, say, Coda, I'll make sure your work dies here, or Coda, I'll make sure you are known forever. Oh. Chills is intense.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
He's destroying all of his work.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
The machine. Put your weapon down.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do?
I can't put it down.
'Cause it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy, so beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look. And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
It does feel like that.
This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Oh wow. I assumed it was that on the walls. No.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Oh. That's so interesting. Why? That it's like this. All the passion is gone.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
It's just crazy that this idea...
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011, I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though, that was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't. I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left. And and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up? I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
What do I do?
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable. And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Oh no.
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean? I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself. That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in.
Oh.
I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Oh gosh. So what is this? This is... Coda didn't make this game.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
Well, they said that it was his last game.
Solution.
Again, if we believe this narrator as to be the all-knowing truth, that would mean that he made this game. Oh no, I do not believe him in the slightest. I do want to state that. I have an inkling that Coda is not a real person. If anything, this is all him, right? That's how I believe it. But then it's like, let's just keep going. I have thoughts I'm trying to comprehend fully.
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Separate game? Same game, different section? Maybe there's secret areas in the original games that he's showing us? Again.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now?
What now?
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
Elevator. Is this where it was just at? It was. Okay. Oh, it's the thing from the very first game. This beam is supposed to, you know, I think you die, but it saves everyone else on the ship. There's like a ship. Okay. And it's the same glitch. But instead of just dying, it brings us to the sky. that it? It like put some weight in my heart and then left me here. House? I have 0 closure. Yeah. Yeah. At some point, though, for me, so let's refer to it, right? So the intro is talking about this person again, whether or not, let's just believe him, right? Let's believe this Coda person is the person making these games. So the intro is just his introduction of him making games, Counter-Strike, but also shows a little bit of individuality and the idea of how humanly made it is, right? Same with Whisper, which, by the way, that is the hypothetical first game, right? That they went over, which showed us the ending, which was put in the epilogue. I loved the backwards one. This idea was very, very cool. That it just keeps changing, but you have to like look forward, but not backwards. And same with this one. Oh. I didn't even really comprehend these chapters individually. The one where you can't see anything from the outside, but it is just on the bottom, like you can see everything. It's like a flashlight or a light shining on top of you, right? I didn't comprehend that it said you're now entering, and then it said you are now exiting. I did not comprehend that. But no, I loved this idea of the stairs room. The ideas as well. It's this cool idea where the game itself is not for the player, right? It's for someone that it's not for the player, That's how it was intended. The intention was you go up the stairs trying to go into this room, but by a certain point, you can't go in there anymore. You stop moving, but the door opens, so your curiosity increases and you want to go. The only reason we even see anything in that room is because of the narrator. All of his ideas, all his aspirations, all his different things he wants to make, right? Is that, I ask you, is that something that we should have seen if it was not intended? Right? I do want to go in depth more with the puzzle, right? So I want to touch upon the puzzle, right? So the puzzle's idea is you open it from the outside, you close it from the outside, and you go in. It's kind of like it's truly in your own impression of the whole club. That is really cool, actually. Because you had nothing to compare it to. You had no expectations. It's all on. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. I'm trying to. So this one. As a viewer, so let me go real in order, right? So I'm right here and down in notes. As a viewer, as a player, with this expectation of we're viewing these games as parts of the creator, right? Which is true in a lot of states. But also, it was very interesting that the way we thought or the way we came up with ideas, or the way we concluded ideas was based off of Davey on how he interpreted most of these games, right? So this idea of how he felt that Coda was very lonely in the notes section, because, you know, with very valid and truthful, if completely truthful, ideas of, since everything is made from Coda as a perspective of these are these thoughts in the area, then how would you interpret that? You think that, oh, he has a lot of things he wants to say, but, you know, all these other things, like, he criticizes his work already. He does this about his work. He has these many things. He can't speak to people about these ideas, and yada, 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 right? So as a outsider looking in, knowing the person that made it, it is quite jarring. It's very alarming, some of these games, if you really interpret it in that route, right? Same with Escape. If this is the premise of your game, of trying to escape a prison that you will never be able to escape, it is concerning, right? And it's, but also to a point, it's not Davey's, it's not his story to tell, nor his, you know, nor his games to show. No? No? Correct. People do often create meaning and find symbolism in things, which, you know, in most cases are just creations of creativity and a thought process, a story. And it's not directly included or alongside with the creator. That is some cases. We keep going to the house. The reason that the house, as a concept of a game, I did enjoy. I liked the idea of having this entity or this person inside the house, and again, love putting ideas and attaching them to games, right? This idea that all they know is cleaning. Very true. These games weren't supposed to, it's very like a diary. It's like having these works of pieces, these stories, these works of words is, it could be, you know, that was the whole point, right? None of these got published originally because they did not want them to be published, because it could be multiple reasons. They weren't finished. They weren't meant for the outside world to see, because these are someone's inner thoughts, or not, or, you know, they're just trying to find their niche and these are not it, right? Multiple reasons. I do believe if these works weren't supposed to be published, they shouldn't be published. Right? Period. No. Yes. This entire game itself is the opinion of someone about someone else's games that aren't supposed to be published. You know? And it's like you said earlier, you know, it is not a bad thing to seek external validation from something, right? But to a point, there's always a point, a line, a boundary line that is present that can be crossed, which it shouldn't be, right? Because whether or not these are concerning or not, it's, you know, it really isn't our our business. You know, and there's other ways to, for example, if I were this narrator and I see all this stuff and I'm so passionate, I see myself in all this stuff, I'm very, like you said, obsessed in a way with this person's work, and I see myself in it and I want them to keep going. I want them to keep going. Please, please, please. You know, and I see that it makes me feel concerned for the creator. It is quite, I'm surprised that's what they thought is to show people the work. As if that was the issue in itself, right? Because that's kind of the driving force, is that the narrator shouldn't have, but they did it for internal usage, or they did it for themselves rather than the creator of the games. You know, they care more about this person they see in itself rather than the person that created it. Right? Here's your diary. You said, hi, here's my diary, or you find it. I don't know how it is portrayed. Because it seems like some of these works of games were given to Davey directly, right? So that means that Coda wanted them to have it. But it did not give permission to give to the outside world. So by him giving his interpretation, by him giving this interpretation of what these games mean directly to the developer, it completely muddles the point if given to an outside source, which is us, as the viewers and players, separate from this dynamic of these two people. Does that make sense? Okay. The house. I have something here, and I want it. Okay. I'm not even gonna reach out. The house. It's this bot that has clean all around the boxes, right? And it's this idea that it's humanizing. This bot. The bot is, I want to clean. Oh, can you fix the bed? Oh, can you do this? Oh, can you do this? But then there's random moments where it's like, oh, like, you know, I had some crazy thoughts, but like, I don't think I should say it. Oh, no, it's pretty crazy. But it's actually like a normal-ish thought that should be said out loud, because in order to, for example, get help in a situation that you have a problem, is basically to talk about it, right? That's the beginning of getting help, advice, or trying to better oneself, is to converse, communicate. It's the idea when it starts going in, is trying to keep doing the same things, right? It's that idea of having a complete game, a playable game, / having a loop game, / having an unplayable, there's nothing to the game, right? Which I thought was very interesting, that in this game there is a door. There's a door that you're curious to go through, not accessible to the game. But then the game starts replaying itself and looping itself and doing the same thing without building upon or having a concluding end, right? Which you may say is one of the issues that Davey had originally, was that some of these games aren't playable. Some of these games, there's deciding factors in these games that aren't used or usable or not even viewable as the player. But that is the point, no? If it's this idea of creating work in art for yourself but not the player in mind, then you'd get some of these games. But then you go back and go to the stairs, it's so difficult to like comprehend, because okay, you have this room, here's all your ideas. You want to keep it hidden. So then you think about the player. You think about, I don't want the player to get to my ideas because they're sacred, right? You have these ideas in your head locked because you want to keep it there. You don't want anyone to touch them. You don't want anyone to spoil them. You don't want anyone to put their interpretations upon it. So therefore, it's locked to the normal player that would be playing the game. Because that would be confusing, right? If you were giving the stairs with no narration, you go up the stairs, you stop, the door opens, and you can't do anything else. As a player, what's that? You know, what kind of game is that? That's not a done game. That's not a complete game. That's not a game for me, right? So I think that's kind of one of the point is that these games are not for me. You know? Innovation. Start adding puzzle mechanics. Creating gameplay within the house. The interesting thing to me about the house was that it was designed to be infinite and forced to be finite. I liked that. I'm going to read it out loud fully. The interesting thing to me about the house was that it was designed to be infinite, then forced to be finite. I really do like that call out specifically, because that was the issue, right? You had someone that's curious about this world from not standing in the driver's seat, right? And it's very, because that's what it is. Half of these games are changed. The original point or driving force of these games are changed because it's not what the viewer, the player, or Davey wants it to be, which is in itself a really big factor of this experience, is what I feel, is this idea that I feel so heavily on this chapter of this game. I feel like it's me or whatever. But, I wish I can change it to this. Or, I wish I can do more. Or, I wish it was more fleshed out and all that stuff. But isn't that the point? You know, that it's not because it's not my creation. It's not for me, right? The point. And I completely agree with you that when I was playing it, I did feel that it kept going over and over and over as if it was the daily upkeep. Maintain daily and all the stuff you gotta do in an actual life, reality. This is what you normally do. And you think about it in this way of if you think about it outside your body, watching it as a show, for example. That's what we do, right? We go to work, we make dinner, game or whatever, go to sleep. We do this, we do this, we do this, we do this, do this. It's like this cycle, this infinite but finite cycle that we end up doing. That's why I like the idea that was infinite for the house, but as a player that would like more of an experience, it does, if it flew, you know what I mean? I'm trying to think of this a different way. Is that it's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to, show you that day-to-day life, right? As a player, why would you want to play a day-to-day life infinitely on a loop? You wouldn't. Not even the developer or the creator would do it on a loop, right? But it symbolizes this idea. Which, by the way, if this is also this entire experience is symbolizing of the idea of when people break games or cheat on games or don't go fully into the idea of what's the intention of the creator. I think corresponds, I'll just use a cheat here and try to get the most this, or yeah, no, the moment I felt so yucky, I'll tell you, is the moment it started the letter to Davey. That made me feel so not good. want to keep going. Lecture. I actually really, really enjoy the premise of lecture, because what it was is this lecturer, this teacher, is basically you as a student is telling you, you have to be perfect, you have to do this, you have to do this. And all the while telling you have to be perfect, and that's all you see, that's all you hear, over and over and over again. The person telling you is seeing an imperfect world. It's seeing this world where, you know, in this game, it's ending. It's literally ending. And what it is, it does nothing. It does nothing for the person telling. It does nothing to the person listening, because that's not how the world is. That's the point, right? It's someone just telling you things just to tell you things. I wonder at what part of this these multiple games is the point where Davey starts giving people and showing people Coda's work. I assume it's pretty easy to figure out, right? But I want you guys to think about it. Because by Mobius, Island, Machine, Tower, all of these ones is the moment that it was this idea where the creator has understood that creating these things aren't making them happy. That creating these things is causing more harm than good, right? Because at some point, right, Coda decides they don't want to make games anymore. And then Davey says, here's these games. You should make more games. And for a little bit, they decided to make games to show Davey, right? I did question with the machine. They named this machine Coda. So that was the moment where I was like, what if Coda is just like the idea or the interpretation of Davey's passion? Like, this is all actually Davey, and Davey's talking about how he lost his passion in his creative process and his all that stuff based off of his own external validation, right? That, like, these games, like, that's how I interpreted this in a way. It sucks if it is two different people, but I feel like it'd suck even more if this is one person. Like, Coda is the inside of this person, inside of Davey. It's like his drive, his all that stuff, and that this is his, like, letter of understanding his process and how he, you know, he bit too much to chew kind of thing. And that the machine, he's trying to break his machine of his passion, because he said, oh, look at all these people, they're here for you. Why aren't you working? Why aren't you doing this? They're here for you. They're here for you. But then he just can't. He just can't produce a game, can't produce a story. And that's how I interpreted that with the machine specifically. And then by the tower, it's like, this is for me, like, it could even be like a compilation of this idea of being a part of a game development company where the beginning, you're making things for yourself. You're making things based off your real life things, just story things you made, stuff like that. But then at a certain point, when you want to get this validation from other people, you want to get seen, you want to get validated in that type of manner, that it's different, right? You're making it for someone specifically. You're making it for this company to make money. So therefore, yes, you can still be passionate about the ideas that you make, but it could be shot down multiple times. It could be viewed differently from other people. It's like a little look-see into your soul, right? That's what creation of these creative outlets are. And so by the time tower hits, it seems like my machine, my coda, my heart of this game development process is destroyed. So therefore, this is why I can only produce is something that doesn't make sense, something that you physically can't play, something that feels very cold and distant, which is aka the tower. But then when you go to the epilogue, it seems different because maybe it's supposed to be like okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this for this company. I don't want to do this for anyone else but myself. And here's the last thing I can do for this idea. Because it's taking so much of your well-being, your brain, it's taking so much out of you that yada yada yada. That's how I interpreted this game. And I will not impose it onto you. But I thought if it was relatively in that area, I think it's a really unique and creative way to interpret it, right? Hear me out. The narrator is Davey. Coda, which is what you are playing as the player, and the player as a separate entity, is Coda, which I also think is Davey. I think that's their creativeness inside of them. So by Davey saying, oh, I really wish that Coda wouldn't hide away, because that's what the theater showed you. It showed fences and prison bars go down, 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 while you go back and back and back. And it's saying, perfect, that's what you're supposed to be doing. You shouldn't be doing that. You don't have blah, 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 blah. I think that's what's happening here, is that the creativeness and the drive to create in Davey as a whole entity is hiding itself away because of the push, because of this weight, because of this expectation that Davey as a whole person is putting onto Coda, the heart, you may say. Again, just a separate interpretation of what they're directly telling me. And honestly, I think it's an easier way to understand and comprehend the story, even though it could be 100% wrong. Same with this one. It's like, Mobius is the one that you're supposed to start blind, right? It's this idea that you're blind to truth. Pretty straightforward. And the only way to not be blind to the truth is to open your eyes and be truthful about your experience, the way you feel, etc., etc. Same with the island. Talks individually about the works of writing and game making and the storyline, and the machine is the idea that in the end, Davey wants the heart to explain, why aren't you working anymore? You know, why aren't you producing work as much as you used to? Why don't you love it anymore? And then in the end, he destroys it. He destroys his heart. He destroys his passion in this, therefore giving you this idea of a tower in the end. Again, could be it makes sense, right? Ooh, you know what? I think maybe the reason I'm putting this interpretation on it is because it feels so much easier on me. Am I Davey as the person? So interesting. It could be anything, but it could be just something, right? I think by me putting that interpretation onto it, it made me feel better about the situation, that I could leave this game here. And so when I click quit, I won't have to have it weigh on me anymore. Is that a weird thing to say? 'Cause by having it be an internal, external process and thing with just this individual, it's not portraying to me. Therefore, if me as the player hasn't done this to this person, I feel all right. I feel good, which is kind of what he was doing in the game. It's like, oh, look, I showed you all these games. Like, these people, they love it. I felt really good showing people these games because it made me feel good. But by me putting this thing on to this game, this interpretation, it makes me feel as if it is just a game, right? I think it's, by the way, I think it's quite crazy that the whole issue happened because Davey shared all these games to the public. And in order to find this, find Coda again, he did it again to go find him. I thought that was kind of intensely crazy. When I say intensely crazy, I meant like that was a wild choice to make. But it corresponds with us seeing this work now, right? That's how it corresponds to do that. So that was the beginner's guide. How'd you like it? What is your theories? Put it down in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. I will see you in the next video. Bye!